Good evening. I'm going to be reading my short story called Love Story. On a cold December morning, Serenity opened her window and let some fresh air in her small New York apartment. Already too small, her upscale unit was beginning to suffocate her after only 2.5 years in the city. A transplant from a small town in North Carolina, Serenity was a slightly homesick and part overambitious. The only thing she had thought she had enough of at the moment is money. She had, up until 4 years ago, had been a struggling college student who took classes from her grandmother's small home in the suburbs of North Carolina. Her online classes were doing well, but she had done enough people watching from her computer chair on her laptop. The lectures she took periodically scanned from student to student, possibly to make each student not feel so alone in their own unique struggles to get a degree and then a job and continue on for a nice life. After passing all of her classes, but still short the credits needed for her Associate of Arts degree, she heard gossip of a traveling troupe of young women like her who were blessed enough to be recruited to a beautiful to become to who were determined to recruit beautiful young women and move them to the big city to further their education and start more dramatic lives than the ones they currently lead now back home. That being said, the group probably had good intentions at first, but eventually became a clique of pretty girls who have no money and lots of daddy issues. Each one feasting off the ambitions and drive of the new recruits and ending up in a stale marriage with rich, privileged New York children who lead lives the mother could only dream of back home. However, the program was not all bad. Lots of young women thought they were in love. For example, the leader of the pack when Serenity had arrived, Jennifer, had found quite possibly the best boyfriend a low class girl from Alabama could possibly hope for. A young lawyer born in New Jersey on the fast track to success. The thing is, the dating scene in New York at the time is biased based on gender, roughly 4-to-1 in the competitive dating arena. So the constant influx of beautiful young women caused the resulting gender ratio to fluctuate based on the number of eligible bachelors. The better the economy, the greater the number of bachelors in the city. As it would be, Serenity eventually found a perfect fit for the time being, she thought. He is a real catch too for her. A thriving socialite on the New York fashion scene. Male designers are worth their weight in gold, at least in women's minds, as well as their pocketbooks. No one really knows how it works, but nothing drives a young New Yorker, I said New Yorker, New Yorker female to popularity amongst her peers than a relationship with an even more popular male fashion designer. Gerald had a promising career at a company called Marc Jacobs. He was 4 years older than Serena at 25 years old and already raking in almost six figures. As you may already know, fashion is very big in New York City. It is a financial gold mine, and Gerald was just getting started. Serenity and Gerald were doing well together. She had just signed up for her spring semester at NYU, that's New York University, and even though Gerald had money, they were not at the point of spending amounts of money on each other. Serenity was majoring in theater and planned to minor in French. She wasn't interested in acting professionally, but merely wanted that particular skill under her tool belt. That goes for the French as well. She had to select a major and thought the fine arts were the way to go. Her father, although he loved her, was always distant with her, but he did have a good job at an insurance company in the city not far from her hometown. Her mother was a math tutor. She was actually a math genius. However, she never really had any reason to put it to use. On this particular cold morning, Serenity was dreaming about her possible future and her current situation. While not bleak, it was not her idea of success. She looks out the window and notices that it is snowing outside. She hated the freezing cold weather in New York, but everyone said that she would get used to it and then love it eventually. Gerald, being one of the latest hotshots in New York on the New York fashion scene, was a full-bred New Yorker in more ways than one. He had grown up here and now probably had a fetish with young women from other slower parts of the United States and other countries for that matter. However, Serenity is tough and sees potential in Gerald and thinks she can win him over. Serenity's father, Mitchell, sends her a small but steady check every month to keep her afloat financially. Serenity has a job at a record store. That's what I've written so far. Thank you.